Ever get that twitch in your gut, like something wild and unstoppable is tearing at the seams of this franchise? Yet no one in the media or the league office is ready to shout it. From the rooftops? That feeling when the city's heartbeat synchronizes with a secret almost too explosive to handle, yet the fans, the real fans, feel it rattling just beneath the surface? Somewhere deep in the shadows of Ford Field, behind polished glass and vacant seats, a quiet revolution is brewing, an upheaval as sudden as it is poised to redefine everything we thought we knew about this Detroit Lions team. Light up those comments of your soul is wired to believe this is more than just a season. This is a reckoning, a turning point that might rip the script right out of the NFL playbook. Insiders are whispering. Front office talks have shifted with a newfound intensity, and coaches are circling around a name that's been simmering under the radar, but is ready to explode into the spotlight like Detroit's comeback story itself. Jahmyr Gibbs. Yeah, you heard me. That kid with the lightning in his cleats is no longer just a rookie wonder or the running back with crazy potential. He's the secret weapon Detroit's been begging for, the pulse beating through the heart of this offense, ready to unleash chaos from the outside instead of being boxed in like some sideline afterthought. Listen, we know this city. We've stared down despair, embarrassment, and unrelenting heartbreak coming out of '91 and every lost decade in between. We've watched dreams dissolve after Caldwell's reign, seen record books rewritten with injury reports and missed tackles. But here's the raw truth. Gibbs isn't just running the ball. He's evolving. This isn't a tweak. It's a wholesale transformation that could rewrite what it means to be a Lions playmaker. The murmurs say he's about to line up wide more than he's ever done before, cracking the code defenses haven't yet figured out. He's smart. One of the sharpest minds and most versatile athletes Cam and Holmes have stumbled upon since the dawn of this rebuild. Imagine that. A running back who can catch, route run, and burn defenders in space like a WR disguised in a back's body. It's electric. This shift doesn't just add a wrinkle. It adds an entire new chapter, a chess move that could spring David Montgomery alongside him without overlapping or burning out either star. And then there's Sion Bakey. Yeah, that pick had all of us scratching heads. Safety turned RB. A gamble Detroit fans are torn about. But what if he's the X factor on the perimeter or in the backfield rotation, preserving Jahmyr's body for the moments that demand dynamite explosiveness? This running back room, it's no longer a question of depth. It's a lineup that's a tactical nightmare for defenses. A blend of power, speed, brains, and sheer will unleashed on a hungry Detroit squad. And here's where the drama intensifies. What if this move, this commitment to expanding Jahmyr's role, embracing versatility, isn't just about gaining yards? What if it's the spark that ignites this offense into one for the ages, pushing us closer to 1,000-yard rushing and receiving season, making the impossible look inevitable? We've glimpsed flashes in 23, with Gibbs jumping from 316 to over 500 yards receiving. But now? Now it's going full throttle, all cylinders firing, visions of a Lions attack that's unpredictable, relentless, and unapologetically Detroit. But what if this gamble backfires? What if pushing Gibbs out wide exposes him to hits that chip away at his dynamic edge? What if the risk fractures the balance we're trying to build instead of fortifying it? The fear sits deep, like a poison in our pride, because this city knows too well what it feels like to be one injury or one misread away from shattering yet again. Yet the alternative is frozen in inaction, a slow bleed of lost seasons and fading. Hope. That's why this move feels different, because Gibbs wants this. He's hungry to master these split formations. He's ready to be the whole damn package. And when the coaches talk about him being one of the smartest players they've ever worked with, you can't help but shiver with anticipation for what that brain power combined with raw talent can do to defenses scheming to stop him. This isn't just about the offense either. The defense is creeping back onto the map, crawling out of the shadows with new stars like Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, and Terry Arnold stepping up to enforce a gritty, aggressive identity that complements this offensive evolution. And make no mistake, the synergy brewing between these units could be a focal catalyst for the Lions to shatter their long-standing mold, rewriting the narrative from perennial underdog to legitimate contender. So as the countdown to training, camp ticks closer and the first pads hit inside that once silent Ford Field tunnel, feel the tension coil tighter and tighter. The whispers behind closed doors have now turned to chants in our hearts. So tell me, if you can't sit still, if your soul is on fire with the hope and fear and raw passion that surrounds this move, if you believe this is the crucial pivot, point in years of rebuilding and heartbreak, hit that like button like your soul depends on it. Because if this domino falls right, and Jahmyr Gibbs tears defenses apart like we've dared to dream, Detroit isn't just coming back. This city is roaring back for blood. And when that buzzer sounds, when the whistle blows and Gibbs lines up wide, breaking through the line and past expectations, know that this isn't a symptom of a rebuild. It's the spark, the fuse, the ignition to a Lions legacy we've all hungered for. And now, with this move lighting the way, all that's left is to watch the explosion dot enough silence roar now, or forever be forgotten. The city's heartbeat is pounding wild inside every true Lions fan's chest. And this isn't just about a game anymore. It's about rewriting every painful chapter etched into Detroit's football soul. For decades, we've been punched in. The gut 0-16, a season so bleak it haunted us like a recurring nightmare. Dan Orlovsky scrambling for safety while the world laughed. Calvin Johnson throwing up his hands in frustration before walking away from the game that made him a Titan. Barry Sanders vanishing into the shadows, leaving us all asking what could have been. Jim Caldwell's firing echoing through Ford Field like a gunshot to hopes that never really took root. And last year's wild card collapse heartbreaking, bitter. A cruel tease that hinted at something greater slipping through our fingers just when it seemed like the tides were turning. But now, the atmosphere is different, charging with an electric promise. An unspoken understanding that Detroit's time isn't just coming. It's exploding from within, and Jahmyr Gibbs is the undisputed spark to the gasoline-fueled fire. You feel it, don't you? The tension in the locker room, coaches whispering strategies like they're plotting an insurrection. Players breaking down tape with intensity that screams defiance. Front office strategists sharpening their thumbs. On the draft board as if they're preparing for a battlefield. The NFC North, shrouded in paranoia, already trembling Minnesota, trying to hold on to Dalvin Cook's ghost. Green Bay desperately scrambling to patch together Rodgers' void. Chicago building a future out of scare tactics and hype. But beneath all that chaos, we see the cracks in their armor, the fear that Detroit's rebirth is no longer hypothetical. It's imminent, and Gibbs is the weapon no one saw coming. A storm that's about to wipe away every illusion of control. We remember the past, those moments of despair when it seemed Detroit would drown in mediocrity, when the city's faith wavered and the ghosts of past failures loomed. But that's exactly where we've resurrected ourselves, clinging to hope. That this franchise, battered and bruised, can still find its crown. And Gibbs, Gibbs isn't just a running back anymore. He's a declaration, a middle finger to the ghosts, the very embodiment of grit, brains, and lightning. His versatility shifting from spot to wide, catching passes like a WR, burning. Defenders with a wily, unpredictable skill set makes defenses unravel, blurring the lines between what's possible and what's just a fever dream of Detroit fans desperate for redemption. That's what makes this move dangerous and beautiful, because it's a calculated gamble with high stakes. Jahmyr's explosion into the game is no accident. It's a masterstroke, a testament to Holmes and Campbell's vision, turning him into a Swiss Army knife, a nightmare matchup. The whispers say he's about to become a key weapon in every offensive, outsider's playbook, because the football world isn't used to seeing a back that can line up outside like a WR, then shift into the backfield and torch defenders in space, all while having the added mental prowess to process coverages faster than anyone else. It's electrifying, and the game's about to change, because if Gibbs can maintain this edge refuse to be contained, then the Lions' attack will. morph into an unstoppable force, a wild beast that defies logic. But with every massive leap forward comes blood in the water. The questions swirl like vultures. What if exposing Gibbs wide opens him to devastating hits, or fractures the chemistry beneath the surface? That internal fear gnaws at the most. Hardened fans, what if this daring evolution becomes a catastrophe, a miscalculation that leaves us crippled instead of elevated? Yet the alternative, playing it safe, sticking with the status quo, feels like surrender, a surrender we refuse. Because Detroit's heart beats for greatness, for rewrites, for defying every expectation thrown our way.